Why is this male crab acting like a mother? Because something inside him decided he is one. Kevin is crouched on a wet rock with a clipboard, handing out an award. He has a paper badge that says Best Parent and 4 hours of disqualified seagulls. In the last tide pool of the day, he has his winner, a crab that never leaves its brood, cleans it, fans it, guards it. By the end, you will know what is really under that crab, how it got in, and why it will never grow again. So what does award-winning crab parenting look like? The crab holds a soft yellow sac under its abdomen and grooms it clean of silt with its rearmost legs for hours. Then it climbs to the highest rock in the fastest water and rocks its whole body until a dark cloud of larvae pours out into the current. Straight out of the textbook, the exact choreography a female crab uses to hatch her own eggs. Kevin writes, "Devoted mother, 10 out of 10. Then he turns the crab over. The abdomen is the wrong shape. This crab is male, and that yellow sac is not eggs. Kevin's first guess about the sac is a tumor. His second guess, which he says out loud to the crab, is a very large egg belonging to somebody else. Both wrong, and the truth is worse than either. The sac is an animal. It is called Sacculina carcini, and here comes the part nobody is ready for. It is a barnacle, the same family as the gray cones welded onto every pier piling Kevin has sat on all afternoon. It starts out completely ordinary, a nauplius larva that drifts, molts, and becomes a cypress, the barnacle stage whose whole job is to find a surface and cement itself down forever. Every other barnacle picks a rock. This one picks a crab. Now the hard part. How do you get inside an animal made of armor? Not through the armor, through the one place it has none, the soft socket at the base of a hair on an antenna. The female cypress lands there and takes herself apart. She sheds her swimming limbs, her eye and her tail, and becomes a kentragon, basically a syringe with a plan. It grows a hollow needle, pushes it through the crab's shell, and injects. What goes down that needle was only described in 1995 by Glenner and Hoeg in Nature. They called it the vermigon, a motile worm of cells in a sheath that arrives in the crab's blood, breaks apart, and crawls. Everything else, shell, limbs, the recognizable barnacle, stays outside as an empty husk. Kevin, reading this off his phone, stands up and starts warning the other crabs about their antenna. The crabs continue eating a dead mussel. He tells them anyway. Inside one of them, that worm is already spreading. Once it is inside, it grows an interna, a branching root system that spreads through the whole crab. In 2020, a Swansea team led by Andrew Rowley cut open 221 shore crabs and mapped the roots: hepatopancreas, muscle, gonad, and the ventral ganglionic mass, the crab's central nerve cluster. The parasite is not next to the nervous system, it is wrapped around it. And the crab does not fight back. Its immune system walls off almost any foreign object, but leaves these roots alone. Two things stop. The crab is castrated, its own reproduction is over, and it stops molting. For a crustacean, that is a life sentence. It will never grow another millimeter, never regrow a lost leg. The shell it wore that day is the shell it dies in. Kevin lowers the crab back into the water, slowly, with both hands. It does not help. He knows it does not help. He does it slowly anyway. Now back to that abdomen with the wrong shape, because the parasite is not finished with him. Taking his future was the easy part. Now it starts on his body. In infected males, the narrow, pointed abdomen widens, lengthens, becomes segmented, and grows a fringe of fine hairs, the sedae a female uses to hold an egg mass. The copulatory appendages and the claws shrink. A 2012 study in marine biology found the change strongest in the smallest males. He is not turning into a female. He is just being fitted with the hardware for a job. Then the behavior follows. In 1981, Ritchie and Hoeg described what this amounts to. The parasite induces its host to accept it as self, as its own reproductive system. Not as a passenger, as an organ. Kevin looks at his clipboard, where "devoted mother" is written in capitals and underlined twice. He is closer to right than he thinks. There is a mother down there, just not the crab. Which leaves the question Kevin has not asked. Who is he doing all this for? The yellow sac has a name. It is called the externa, and it is female. She has an ovary and 2 small chambers built into her body. Those chambers hold husbands. A male Sacculina swims up, lands on her, and injects himself inside. The same trick she used to get into the crab. He never comes back out. He spends the rest of his life in there as a supply of sperm. So that is what the crab is guarding. Not eggs, a female barnacle, with her husband sealed inside her, being raised by a stolen body. He is using instincts meant for children he will never have. Kevin has stopped writing. What he says, quietly, is, he is doing everything right. He is just doing it for the wrong thing. Here is the part people argue about. In California, the European green crab is an invasive disaster, and Sacculina castrates it. So somebody proposed releasing it. In 2005, Goddard, Torchin, Curris, and Lafferty tested it. They exposed 4 native Californian crab species, and most of the crabs the larvae settled on got infected. But the parasite never finished in them. Not one produced an externa. It could not breed in them. It could only kill them. So the tool works exactly as advertised, cannot be used, and the green crabs are still there. Which leaves one question. If a parasite can rebuild a body, end its future, and rewrite what it loves, at what point is the crab no longer the animal inside that shell? Tell me in the comments where you draw the line. Kevin sat on that rock for a long time with the badge in his hand. Then he gave it out anyway. He crossed out "devoted mother," wrote "best parent on this beach," and stuck it on the yellow sac. Technically, he is right. The most devoted parent in that pool is the only thing raising its own children. Stay curious.